Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm Prudy. Welcome to my podcast. So, recently we put up a stall at St. Joseph's University, Bangalore. You know, regular day of selling zines or zines, stickers, and trying to keep my sanity. Now, the interactions were really fascinating, and by fascinating, I mean both incredible and at times unbelievably frustrating. See, a lot of students came by bright kids, bright students, passionate, the kind of students who'll tell you with full confidence that caste is a thing of the past. Yep, that was actually said to me, along with Dr. Ambedkar doesn't know Manusmriti. Now, I don't know if this person thought whatever, I don't know what they thought, but it took everything in me not to laugh or cry or both. And then there was another person who asked me, is this all artwork made by Dalit workers? Now, pause for a second. Imagine going to a stall and asking, is this all made by Brahmins? You would sound ridiculous, but when it's Dalits, suddenly it's a valid question. But here's the thing, I wasn't just observing them, I was seeing a reflection of myself in them. I was observing myself and I realized this experience wasn't just about them, it was about how deeply conditioning runs for all of us. Now, there was a moment that really stuck with me. A Brahmin person picked up a zine, started unfolding it, and my first instinct, I stopped them and said, you're not supposed to read it that way. Now, at that moment, I thought I was helping myself. I thought they were about to mess up the folding or handle it wrong, but the truth, they were just being curious. There was no correct way to read it, but I jumped in anyway, as if there was some sacred method of unfolding a sign. And afterward, I had to sit with it. My friend corrected me that there is no certain way of, like, supposed way of reading it. And I thought, why did I do that? Why did I feel the need to control how they engaged with it? Did I think the proper unfolding technique was going to unlock caste consciousness for them? Like, oh wow, now that I folded it correctly, I completely understand structural oppression. No, that's not how this works. And that's when I realized this wasn't about design, it was about my own conditioning, the need to control, the need to dictate how people should engage with something instead of letting them find their way through it. But then it wasn't all frustrating. Some people got it, and that really encouraged me. A few students came up to the stall. They weren't just interested, they understood. They were not the people who said caste is over, why are you bringing it up type. But they knew that whatever I had at my stall is important. They resonated with it, they liked it, they wanted to share it with others. And then there were also professors. Those who stopped by, looked at the zines, nodded, and said, this is important work. No long explanation, no empty intellectualism, just a simple acknowledgement that meant more than a whole debate with an oppressor caste student who thinks they're neutral on caste. But that's the thing, there are people out there who want to understand, who want to unlearn, and there are those who remind me, why do I do this in the first place? And that's when it hit me. These students, these young students weren't just being ignorant because they chose to be. They've been trained just like I was. You see, conditioning isn't just about what you believe, it's about what you never even question. Because let's be real, most people don't wake up and decide, How can I be a tool for oppressive structures today? No. They wake up, they repeat what they've been taught, they follow the rules, and they think they're being rational. And you know how I know this? Because I used to be that person. I was once very religious, and I was very homophobic. Despite being attracted to the same sex, I was transphobic. I was ignorant of my own privileges as someone perceived as a man, and I defended all of it with passion, with no second thought, because I was taught that these things were right. I used to condemn people who didn't follow my ideology, just like how these students did with me. And let's be honest, most of us go through this phase. Some of us make it, some of us never do. And you know what happens when people don't question anything? Nothing changes. And this isn't just about Savarnas, this isn't just about oppressors who are oppressing us. All of us are guilty of it. See, the thing about oppressive systems is that they don't just survive by force. No, no. They survive by making sure you never even think about questioning them. They survive by getting inside your head, by making oppression look like common sense. You grow up hearing the same things over and over again. Caste doesn't matter anymore. We are all equal now. Merit is real. And before you know it, you aren't just hearing things. These are these are not things you hear anymore. These are things you believe. And if you believe them, you don't fight them. That's how power works. It doesn't control what you do, it controls what you think is possible. And let's be clear, this isn't an accident, this is by design. Schools don't teach you to challenge power, they teach you to obey it. Media doesn't show you the stories of resistance of the marginalized people. It tells you caste is just a rural issue, as if it's not woven into every institution in this country. Religion doesn't tell you to question injustice. It tells you suffering is karma. Suffering is how you end the suffering. That's how it works. You hear it enough times and suddenly oppression doesn't look like oppression anymore. It just looks like the way things are. And once the harm looks normal, you stop questioning it. And that's the real danger. That's what we should be scared the most. Because if you're not questioning, you're not angry. And if you're not angry, you're not fighting. And if you're not fighting, well, congratulations, you've just become part of the problem. So yeah, questioning isn't just important. It's survival and it's the only way we're ever going to change anything. So, what did I learn from this stall? I learned that some students are brilliant, but their brilliance is locked inside a system that refuses to let them think for themselves. I learned that there are professors and students who see the cracks in the system and are trying to push through them. And I learned at the end of the day that real fight isn't just against caste or capitalism or religion, it's against the way we've been taught to think. Yeah, so maybe one day we'll get to a point where questioning isn't rebellion, it's just how we live. Till then, we keep on learning. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.